Hello, and welcome to episode 100 of the Casual Tryhard podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm James.
And we've been at this for 100 episodes.
That's a lot of episodes.
That is a lot of episodes. And this week, we're going to kind of take a retrospective of kind of where magic was when we started.
And you ever watch Supernatural?
I have not.
You've never seen an episode of Supernatural?
I have not.
So you know what it is, though, right?
I know the show. I know Negan is their dad.
So, like at the beginning of the show, they'll do like a recap of like what has happened that like affects the current episode or whatever.
Yeah, from like 100 episodes ago or whatever.
Yeah, a million episodes. There's like 30 seasons of that show, and they'll say then. And then they'll do the recap, and then it'll say now, and then it's this week's like episode. So That's what I thought we were gonna do. It's then and now.
There we go. I don't have to think of a name now. Thank you.
Yeah, it's that then and now.
There we go. So if you would like to tweet at us how magic has changed for you, I guess not regarding the pandemic or including the pandemic, you can get at us on Twitter at CasualTryPod.
Yeah, you can also hit us up on Facebook at CasualTryHardMTG. As always, you can drop us an email at show@CasualTryHardMTG.com. If you guys are looking to pick up any singles, it is Christmas time. Prices are usually pretty low right about now. You can do so through our TCG Player affiliate link, tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com. Anything you purchase after following that link will get a small sliver up to help keep the show rolling. It doesn't cost you guys anything, comes out of their back end, and helps support us. If you guys want to support us a little bit more directly, you can do so at patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Our patrons get early access to show notes. I try and post them up the day before the show goes live. And we also record our like pre-show audio check, two buddies catching up, shooting the shit kind of thing before every episode. And I post that on Tuesdays for our patrons. They get access to that. Also, I thought that we haven't ever called our patrons out.
We have not.
Did you want to call some of our patrons out?
Sure. So our patrons, we've got a handful of them.
Yep.
So we have George.
And Chris.
And Jamie.
And Josh.
And Ken.
And Dom.
And Jason.
And Juan.
Is that Podcast Dad?
It is Podcast Dad.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks to our patrons. You guys are awesome.
You can go hear the episode on YouTube. Very rarely we'll make a video. We were just discussing off air how long it takes to make a video.
Yeah, way longer than it takes to make a podcast.
Way longer.
Yeah. This Casual Tryhard MTG is our YouTube channel if you want to check that out. I did post to go along with the episode that we did a couple weeks ago about the kind of stuff we use and how we organize our collection. I did post a video of kind of a walkthrough of my collection so you can kind of see how I do it. And that's up on YouTube. And we also have a Discord channel. There's a link in the description. There's a link on Facebook. There's a link in Twitter. If you can't find a link or having a hard time getting the link to work, you can shoot us a message however you feel, and we'll send you a link to get you in there. Part of this episode came out of Discord. We got a lot of cool people shooting ideas around on Discord, so hop on over and let us know what kind of stuff you want to hear about joining the conversation.
Last week's guest, Christos, has been posting lists and being pretty active in Discord over the last few days.
Yeah, some of them are pretty sweet, too. I kind of like that Titan Company list.
I haven't seen that one. Didn't look.
Yeah, it's very not good, but it's sweet.
Oh, wait. I know which one. Yeah, with Lazav.
Yeah, and Honor Guard and Hushbringer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good, but it's sweet.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to have fun.
Yep. It's certainly fun.
All right, so, like we said at the beginning, this is our 100th real numbered episode. There are a few, if you like look at your iTunes feed, like we're a little over 100, but we have 100 real honest to God episodes.
So we did a couple extra episodes, and we did a supercut episode but we also did like a double episode and skipped a week, right?
Something like that. Yeah, we broke it into 2 parts. I forget what we did.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, the episode numbers are kind of messed up, but
this
is actually our 100th episode.
Yeah, if we were a TV show, we wouldn't count this Christmas special as an episode. It's not part of it. It's not part of the season, right? Like the Star Wars Christmas special, not canon. No one's like, right. Oh man, it's like it's episode 5, and then episode 5.5, the Christmas special. Nope, that just didn't happen.
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
It's fine. All right, so we want to talk about what we were doing and where like Arena was and where Magic was back when we started way back. January 14th, 2019.
So when was the last time you listened to that episode?
January 13th, 2019.
I listened to like the first 10 minutes of it before I started writing just to kind of go back in time and see what we were doing. It was pretty cringy. Like, I can't believe that's still out there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Do we need to re-record it?
Better now. We do much better now.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, our setup process for that episode was, hey, I have a mic. Cool.
And you had a table.
Yeah, and that was our setup. That was our prep. You have a mic? I do. You have a table? I do. Come on over. We can make this happen. Not that James doesn't have tables at his house.
Right.
He's a man with surfaces, but yes. So we do a little bit more prep, and we come out a little bit more fancy sounding, hopefully.
Yeah. Definitely sounds more professional now. Not that we're any more professional, but the show is.
No. This started from me being like, it'd be interesting to see like what we were playing and like how it stacks up. But there's a lot of other stuff to get through before then. So what was happening in the world? I kind
of just wanted to take a snapshot of what Magic was like around that time frame, and then kind of compare it to a snapshot of what Magic is like now.
Yeah.
So like I went back in time a little bit from what our first episode was, because there was like some important stuff that happened right before we started recording. So I thought, it might be important to, kind of get the picture and talk about some of that stuff too.
Okay. So what was going on in the big world of Magic around when we started?
So Arena was in beta.
So
I'm pretty sure it's not in beta anymore.
I was going to ask, like,
they don't call it State of the Beta.
Okay.
I don't think so, because they call it State of the Game now. It used to be State of the Beta.
Yeah, I guess like last year it came out of beta technically, something like that.
Okay. But we were still pretty early into Arena at this point.
Yeah, I think
I think at this point you still had to have an invite to play, right?
No. The open beta.
It was open beta.
Open beta started in October or November, because that's when I started playing. I started playing in like October or November. I think open beta.
So like right before we started recording that.
Yeah. So like I think open beta started in like around there, or like right around when Guilds of Ravnica was released.
Yeah.
And right around there, and I was a little hesitant, and then I was like, like I think I was preparing to like play some PTQs or something. And I was like, well, this is like the only way I'm going to get like practice.
Right.
That was back when they didn't have duplicate protection.
Right.
And then I had opened a bunch of guild packs. And then right after we started, is when they introduced duplicate protection. Yeah. So like I had just opened like tons of the same Ravnica rare. Yeah. And those cards were just gone.
Yeah. Forever.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
So there was Arena. It's, I don't know, it's better, but essentially still the same program. There's been some cosmetic stuff, some like quality of life stuff.
Yeah, I think if you went back and played that Arena, you would certainly think it's an inferior program to the Arena we have now. Yeah. Even though like there's still plenty to complain about. I think if you had to go back and play that old Arena, you would think that you probably didn't want to play it.
Yeah.
It wasn't great at the beginning.
So you have on here something that happened a little bit before we started, which is that Jerry T protested Worlds.
Yeah, I included this because I don't know if this was like a direct factor or whatever, but right after this happened, organized play kind of like turned on its head. So in taking a snapshot of this period of Magic, I wanted to include that because that kind of felt like the first crack in the globe, or I don't know how you want to say it.
Crack in the dam.
Crack in the dam, sure.
Yeah, where organized play had been a certain way for a very long time, and we've kind of gotten to the like snow globe version of organized play, where like every few months they just shake it,
right,
and just change it all up, and then it's like, let's do it again.
Yeah.
And Jerry T is the reason that we had one emergency podcast, which is when he dropped out of. He was in. It was not Rivals. It was the MPL.
The MPL, yep.
He was in the MPL, and then he dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our
world on fire.
Yeah, that was our emergency pod that we recorded like unedited on like a Tuesday or a Thursday or something, and just released it to the world.
Get it out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we had the like nomenclature change for GPs becoming Magic Fest.
Yep, and they also kind of did away with the Pro Tour and started calling it Mythic Invitational instead. At this point, they were still kind of the same thing. They are not any longer. But at this point, Mythic Invitational was just a renamed Pro Tour.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought the Mythic Invitational was like that weird thing that like Manguchi won, where it was like invitation only. And like
that's the Arena Invitational.
That was, but I thought that first one was a Mythic Invitational. They were Mythic Championships, right? Is what they got renamed to.
Well, that's what they're called now.
No, now they're Players Tours.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it was like Mythic Championships because every time they do the Arena Boys, it's Turov Toffel Severin, the Mythic Champion.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
And we have Otto Burchett winning the Mythic Championship.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it was Mythic Championships, and the Mythic Invitationals are those like small field, like 32 player tournaments where they just like invite some Magic pros, some like random streamers. I'm looking at you. What's that guy's name that didn't like Magic?
Oh yeah, what was his name?
Oh gosh, the first person I thought of, and I didn't want to put her on blast, but we're gonna do it anyway. Is Skybills.
Oh yeah, that's not who I was thinking of though.
That was the first person. No, but the guy who was like, I don't like Magic. I go to no events.
Yeah.
When he was like in the MPL.
Very popular streamer, but
whose name escapes me. Yeah, but yeah, where they just like invite randos.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore though, right? Or they haven't in a while at least.
They haven't in a bit. So, yeah, I don't know if they're going to do... I think those got moved out due to, like, the COVID stuff. As you can tell, they've changed They were Pro Tours, and then they were Mythic Championships, and then now they're Players Tours, and there's, like, Players Tours and Player Tours Finals, and
qualifiers.
Yeah, then we also have the Mythic Qualifier Weekend. Just
that's just for Arena though, right?
Yeah, that's just for Arena. Too many Mythic things.
Yeah, too many names.
Yes. Yeah. Then we had the last, in air quotes, of the master sets for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, Ultimate Masters.
That was the good one, right?
Yeah, Ultimate Masters was the one. The first box toppers were in Ultimate Masters.
Okay, because this was the year, 2018 was the year of, like, all the supplemental products, right? There was, like, was that M25? Or was that the next year? There was, like, M25 and then, like, Ultimate Masters, and then there was one in between, right? That wasn't very good, that people didn't like.
Iconic was before Masters 25, I think.
Okay. Yeah, one of those in there, that people were like, ugh, no good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got rid of Master sets, but, like... It seems like they're kind of coming back.
Yeah, I mean, we have Double Masters.
Oh, Double Masters, yeah. And we're getting remastered sets in paper.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah. Someone at Wizards was like, what can we do that requires the least amount of R&D, but could make the most money?
Just reprint whole sets.
We're going to reprint whole sets, but better, And then we're going to make versions of Chalice of the Void that look different. Excellent.
I'm pretty excited for that, though. Those chalices are beautiful.
Yeah, the old-timey chalices.
Yeah, with the Seb art.
Oh, no, the Seb art? I was thinking
don't they have the Magic Online art that Seb did?
No, I thought that the thing with the chalices, it was the original chalice art, but in the original artifact frame.
Well, it's in the alpha artifact frame, but I thought it was the Seb Magic Online art.
Oh, I don't know. But Master Sets went away and came back.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the Mythic editions, which those were the fancy boxes where like that they came with like 8 like planeswalkers, like in box topper kind of treatment.
Yeah.
You could only buy from Wizards.
Yeah, you could only buy them online.
And there was like a partnership with like Wizards and eBay to sell them or something. And then...
Well, that was the War of the Spark ones.
The
first ones... I don't think the first ones were through eBay. The first ones were through the Hasbro toy store.
Which it just crashed like 5 seconds after that like started.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've been trying to figure out some way to sell these.
Yeah.
So we're a company and we sell stuff. We do. Do we have an online store that can handle more than 3 people? We don't.
Okay.
Is that a problem? Is that a problem? We're just going to make it work. Okay, cool.
So I just looked up that Chalice of the Void, and you're right. It's the Mirrodin artwork.
Okay. And then the thing that probably matters most for gameplay is there were 8 cards banned in 2018 prior to our first show. Right. So those were those like the Emrakul, Felidar Guardian?
Probably, yeah.
Reflector Mage bans?
Yeah.
And, you know, for context, like, let's say 2016, and, like, back, there'd been, like, no cards banned in Standard for, like...
Right.
10 years or something.
Yeah, right. For a very long time.
And so there were 8 cards banned in 2018.
Yep.
And they were...
In 2019, we had 47 cards banned. So this is, like, the week after we recorded our first show... was the first ban, and that was KCI, I believe. And then for the rest of that year, counting every format, there were 47 cards banned.
Dear God.
47.
And then we have my least favorite deck, perhaps ever. God, I hated this deck so much. Autumn Burchett won the Mythic Championship in Cleveland. Yep. With Mono Blue Tempo is the Wizards approved name, not not Poopers.
It's called something else in the show notes. You patrons will get to see it.
Yes. Yeah, Mono Blue Poopers. The deck that I tried to convince Christos could never beat the card Shock. But yeah, they won that event, and that's kind of what put them on the major Magic scene. Like, they'd won 2 British championships beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, it was important for a couple of reasons. That's why I included it. Number one, like you said, it put Autumn on the map. Certainly somebody that not a lot of people had heard of beforehand, and now everybody does. Yeah. And then, like, that deck is a strange deck to take down a tournament of that caliber, which is another reason why it's important to note. It was also the first Mythic Championship, and it was also very shortly after we recorded our first episode. So I thought it was worth talking about.
Yeah, Mono Blue was get ahead and stay ahead, and oh dear God, if I'm behind, I can never, ever, ever catch up.
Never, ever.
Ever, ever. But it played a lot of permission and just enough threats that it was able to get ahead and stay ahead. Yeah. The reason it was Mono Blue was so it could play Tempest Djinn. It's a blue for a Star 4 or Star 3? Star 4.
Star 4.
And this power was equal to the number of basic islands you controlled.
Yep.
So the card basically says you have to only play islands.
Right. Otherwise it's terrible.
Yeah. So it was like a Spell Pierce, dive down, a couple like soft counters for the early game, and
Curious Obsession. Curious Obsession.
Curious Obsession, and then like just some like ant creatures.
Yep.
So around that time, that was before Ravnica Allegiances came out.
Yeah, I think our second episode, or our first episode, was the pre-release show for Ravnica Allegiance.
Okay.
I don't think we actually did a set review, but it was like that. The following weekend was pre-release.
Gotcha.
So what were you playing?
Blue, red drakes. That was Enigma Drake, Crackling Drake, lava coils for removal, and like some permission and removal. You got to bring in, what was it called? Star of Extinction out of the board for your Golgari matchup.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was this Arclight Phoenix, or was Arclight Phoenix not out yet?
Arclight Phoenix wasn't out.
Okay.
Like, this was, I think we were at like maybe 2 nivs in the main.
Okay.
So the blue, red, red. Niv.
If Arclight Phoenix wasn't out, Niv wasn't out yet.
No, Niv was out. So is Arclight, were they in the same set?
I think so.
Yeah, so Arclight was out, but it wasn't the Arclight Phoenix deck.
Okay.
So Arclight was, okay, yeah. Yeah, so blue, red Drakes, top 8 at a PTQ, and lost to red, white aggro.
Yeah.
In the top 8.
No, that had to be Allegiance. That couldn't have been Guilds.
No, it was definitely, Drake's was definitely in what's it called? In the fall. Because I was playing that deck on Arena when I first started. It was the PTQ we played in the back of the arcade.
Oh, okay.
I was playing Drake's.
All right.
And it had Niv. So maybe Arclight Phoenix wasn't until the next set.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, it was definitely playing Drake's because it was Lava Coil and Niv, Crackling Drake, Enigma Drake, and then just like, stick a threat, play Dive Down.
Yeah.
Spell
kill
pierce
your
something.
opponent in 2 turns.
Kill your opponent in like 2 turns, and then it was all good.
Yeah.
And then you were playing my nemesis,
Golgari Explorer.
Yeah.
The deck that needed to get Wild Growth Walker banned.
Oh yeah. Wild Growth Walker. Yeah. So
that won me a PPTQ.
Yeah. Was that? What did you go?
Charleston.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was me, Cameron, and Christos went down there.
Oh, okay. Simpler times going places.
I know, it's crazy. Huddled in the back room of a game store without a mask on.
Yeah.
Such a rebel.
Such a rebel. So those two were the best 2 decks in the format. Like there was like a red white aggressive deck that was fine. Like those decks preyed on Drakes by playing Ixalan's Binding, because you only really played like 8 threats in your deck, and if they bound one, you just drew blanks.
Yeah, just could never do anything about it.
And then like Drake's was good against Golgari because they had flyers and cheap ways to like with Dive Down and Spell Pierce to protect them, because like the main removal in that format was Vraska's Contempt.
Yeah, which was expensive. Took your whole turn.
4 mana, and you're just like Dive Down, and then are just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a waste of a turn.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a different time.
For sure.
I think the thing that was different about these decks, Golgari had a little bit of a snowball in Wild Growth Walker.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something that just was like undealable with. Like you could kill a creature.
Oh yeah, I mean, Wild Growth Walker is a bad Magic card. Like, it's just a bad Magic card. A 2 mana 1/3 that doesn't do anything until the next turn or a turn after that potentially.
Yeah, unless you like have another card to make it do something.
Right.
But it fit in that format because it could get too big for lava coils.
Yeah.
So then you would like outsize the red decks, and then it could just kind of be a threat on its own. But it did require work.
Like if you gain 6 life, those red decks could never beat you.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter how big the Wild Growth Walker was. You gained 6 life, and they couldn't win.
Yes, very true.
Yeah.
And then we were prepping for events.
We were. Well, kind of. Maybe not so much in January, but I think the next big event that we went to after starting the show was GPDC, right?
Yeah.
And it says here that was Modern Horizon Sealed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that tournament.
We went with Tom. I edited the podcast and like wedged in like the way back in like the third row seat of the family cruiser.
Yeah, I remember that tournament too.
Yeah, you top 64?
Yeah, I did pretty well.
Yes.
50th, I think.
Yeah.
Good time.
Good time.
I miss tournaments.
Yes, I would go play in a tournament now if I wouldn't perhaps die.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was the tournament I got my Grim Monoliths.
It was, yep.
Yeah. It looks like a great investment now.
Yeah.
So, where are we now? So that's what we were doing, what Magic was doing
100 episodes ago.
100 episodes ago. Now, fast forward to today. That was then.
Oh, boy.
This is now.
This is now. The world is on fire. Everything is not fine.
Yeah. The dog's like, it's not okay.
It's not okay anymore. He's got his mask on. His mask is on fire.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
So in February, WotC suspended all paper events.
Yeah.
Not before the dumpster fire open. As I had down here, the worst tournament of our lives.
Was it the worst tournament of our lives?
It was the worst tournament I think I've registered for. I don't know. There was another team tournament we didn't do great in Baltimore.
Yeah. I think I had more fun at the one in Baltimore, though.
Okay.
This one was just not good. Like, everybody there was sick, right? Wasn't there, like, some terrible GP crud going around?
Yeah, maybe. Coronavirus.
Yeah, maybe. Wow, we must have dodged that bullet, huh?
Yeah, really.
And, like, wasn't there a whole bunch of weird, like, drama at that tournament, too?
Was there?
Yeah, like, one of the SCG streamers, like, had a breakdown.
Oh, I think there was, someone, like, there's some Twitter drama about, like, someone not, like, addressing, like, a female player.
Yeah.
Was that the tournament we got paired wrong? And they had to pick us up and, like, move us partway through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's when we did our Theros quick draft.
Mm-hmm.
Where you drafted, you played, like, one match, and then you were done. We waited, like, 35 minutes for that quick draft to happen.
Yeah. And then we said we're done, and we left. Yeah. Not a great tournament.
Not a great tournament. We went from Arena being a way to supplement, like, playing paper events to Arena now being the only way, basically, to play Magic.
Yeah, unless you count Magic Online, and I don't.
Or, like, if you've seen, like, the Command Fest that, like, Channel Firebrow's doing, where people are, like, dangling cameras, like, over their desk.
Yeah, playing webcam Magic.
Yeah,
I don't think I could do that.
That seems too hard.
Yeah. Well, not only that, it seems hard to, like, see the cards. Like, I don't know how big your monitor has to be for you to see 3 board states on it.
Yeah, seems bad.
Yeah, not ideal.
We went from prepping for Magic Fest to there now being no Magic Fest scheduled.
Yeah, none at all.
And there's not even talk about, like, them coming back. Like, we assume that someone's making money on them, so they will come back.
Right.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of... Was it the pre-show we just touched on this briefly? Where you said, like, maybe 9 months and there'll be another GP or whatever?
Yeah, but probably more like a year before they start scheduling them again.
Yeah, and, like, that's the thing, is you don't just, like, turn on the GPs. Like, there has to be some sort of prep time for advertisers and setting up venues and coming out with whatever new policies there's going to be as far as, like, human interaction goes. And
yeah, like, it could be that in 2022, they're like, we're going to start scheduling GPs, and the first GP is not scheduled till June.
That is probably more likely in my brain.
Yeah, so...
Man, that's a long time from now.
That is a long time from now.
Yeah.
The wee terrorist Gavin will be walking.
Whew, that's scary.
I know, I gotta, like, put my magic cards up higher.
So by the next time you play a game of Paper Magic, Gavin will be walking.
Yes, that could very well be true.
Wow.
all of our organized play is on Arena, which has led to the rise of Historic. From the meme format that everyone thought no one would play to the hottest format that everyone has to play.
Yeah. I mean, that's all anybody's playing right now.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, why anyone would play Standard.
Yep.
Like, no idea.
I don't even know what I would play in Standard right now. I haven't played a game of Standard in...
The best deck is Rogues.
Still?
Like, It wasn't the most represented deck at the Players Tour, or I guess Zendikar Rising Championship.
Yeah.
But it had the highest win rate of all the Standard decks. But yeah, like, everything's on Arena now, which is good for, like, viewing, but, like, kind of bad in terms of, like, variety of things to watch. Right? Like, it used to be, you could, like, you'd watch, like, standard, then there'd be, like, a modern event or a legacy event, or, you know, there'd be something to, like, or there'd be, like, limited, right?
Yeah.
And now it's just, like, do you want to watch these same 4 decks in Historic that have been around for the last, like, 3 months?
Yeah.
No? Too bad!
It's kind of something that, like, I think I had somewhere else in the notes, but we're going to talk about it here because you brought it up. I think Arena is much better to view on stream than Magic Online is, like, by a mile. But I would still much rather watch paper Magic. Like, I don't find myself compelled to turn on coverage on a weekend. And in the before times, that's always what I had on my TV. Working on the show or prepping for a tournament or sorting cards, I always had coverage on.
At
I couldn't
work?
even tell you. Yeah, I used to watch coverage at work. I'd have it on my computer while I was working cards, listening to it or whatever. I couldn't even tell you the last tournament that I watched, like, beginning to end.
I watched one of the things over the summer or like early fall. Like, I just, for some reason, watched, like, the whole weekend.
Yeah.
But I think part of it is we're all playing Arena, right? We've all played these matchups.
Right.
We all know how these games play out. And so, like, you're not seeing anything new or novel, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just the same thing. Like I said, it's the same 2 formats.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. And to, like, kind of dunk on Wizards a little bit, like, how many events, big in air quotes events, have just, like, snuck up on you?
Yeah.
That you're, like, prepping the show or we're talking and we go, like, hey, did you know the Zendikar Rising Championship starts on Friday? And you go, the what? And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, too. I don't know where they're advertising this stuff.
Not to people that play Magic.
Right.
I don't know. And it started to fall off even in the before times, as I guess that is our new terminology. Before COVID and before the podcast, the before times. Right? Where, I guess in 2018 going into 19, like, Star City went from doing an event every weekend to, like, every other weekend. And, like, you lost that kind of, like, safety net of, like, it's Saturday, it's 11 a.m.
There's something starting somewhere.
Or it's, like, round 2 of the SCG tournament.
Yeah.
I can just go turn that on and have it on while I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you lost that. Like, you know, it'd be like it's kind of like this college football season where it's like, oh, does favorite school have a game this weekend? Well, it might have got canceled for COVID or some myriad other things. Players might be protesting. Like, I don't know. Yeah. There might not be a game. Right? Where normally it's like, oh, every weekend there's a game I want to watch. It used to be like every weekend there's some Magic thing I want to, like, watch.
Yeah.
And now that it's like, you know, once a month, maybe twice a month.
It's all the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all the same. It's like, oh, we had our sweet standard tournament at the beginning of the format, and then we're gonna have our sweet same standard tournament at the end of the format. And it's like, yay.
Yeah, and the metagame hasn't evolved at all in the meantime.
Or, like, the only reason it's evolved is because they had to, like, ban 2 cards.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's also like another part of it too that I was actually talking about with somebody today. I stopped into the game store on my lunch break today to say hi. And one of my friends was in there, Sean. He was saying he's a big board gamer. And he had said that, he misses playing board games and, it's makes him sad that it's going to be, another 6-9 months, whatever, until he can, sit down and play board games with his friends. And then he made the comment that, at least I had Arena to fall back on. And I said, yeah, but like, that's not how I prefer to play Magic. Like, a big part of why I play Magic is the social part of it. And that's non-existent on Arena. And I think that translates in coverage too. Like, I would much rather watch, two people playing paper Magic than watch Arena, even though, Arena is much better to look at than Magic Online. There's way more stuff that goes into a game of paper Magic than goes into Arena. Like, think about that tournament you were talking about just a little while ago. That was that white-red aggro deck that LSV played.
Yeah.
And he had that whole thing in the very end of his last match with that big bluff. That doesn't exist on Arena.
Yeah, where he faked like he was gonna put down the token that was against what is his name? French guy, Jeremy Desani.
Yep.
It made it look like he was gonna make a token with his Legion's Landing.
Yep.
Desani was trying to line up his block, his attacks and figure out how LSV was gonna block, and then LSV settled him.
Yeah, settled the wreckage.
Yeah, it was in the semifinals.
Was it semifinals?
Because LSV mulled to 4 against.
Yeah.
What is his name? Aaron Ellenbogen.
Yep.
In Game 5 of their set.
Yep.
But I mean, even something like that, right? The drama of he mulls to 6, shuffle, 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 shuffle.
Yeah.
Oh, draws to 6. Oh no. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Now it's just push a button, new hand. Push a button, new hand. Right? You don't have that same build up of oh no, I hope this 5's good. Oh geez, what if this 5's not good?
Oh no, it's not good.
Right? Yeah, it's always nope. And it's okay. Right?
Yeah.
You lose some of that drama inherent with that, or even people not the ankle shooty stuff, but making a mistake due to paper Magic stuff.
Yeah.
You're just oh man, this person missed the trigger. Right. So this gave someone an opportunity they wouldn't have otherwise had. All that's gone.
Oh wow. I haven't even thought about missing a trigger in so long. I'm going to be such a bad Magic player.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be awful. It's just going to be mono red, no triggers for a while. You know what I can't do?
In the swing of things.
I can't rally the ancestors and have 15 triggers from a corpse night on the that have to happen. It just none of them will happen. I'll just be rally for 3, go.
Oh,
you were supposed to be dead. All these guys get exiled now. No. But just all that stuff that's just not that we're just not in the hang of. All that stuff's just not things that can happen on Arena. Right?
No chalice checks.
No chalice checks. The Cameron Galindo special.
Yeah.
Which is spell that should get counted by chalice, go.
Yeah.
2-drop, 1-drop, your turn. Okay, I'm going to untap. Oh, he got me again. Right?
Gotcha.
None of that stuff, right? No, drawing a second card when another set's out. Right? It just lights up red and you can't draw a card.
Right.
Right? Just all of those things that you just, don't think of.
Yep.
Right? All that stuff has been gone.
Forgetting there's an Uro in your graveyard.
Yeah, no, it's just sitting there.
Yep.
I mean, but in fairness, if you're playing blue and green, there's always an Uro in your graveyard.
That's true.
It just always is.
Yeah.
A thing that changed that had never been done before was we have prints directly into formats now, specifically modern.
Really strange. Yeah.
Right. I guess you could say that the Commander products were also printed directly into Legacy, but that's not what they were there for, right? They were
not even close. How many cards out of the Commander precons made it into Legacy? True Name, Vial Smasher,
Kess,
Fiery Confluence.
That might be it. I'm probably missing one. But yeah, for the most part, not very many. Simpler times. So we have Modern Horizons, which was all new cards or cards from
Pre-modern sets.
pre-modern sets that were put into Modern.
Right.
I have here that it just blew up Modern. Like,
It did.
After Modern Horizons, like, your favorite deck probably wasn't good anymore.
Correct. And likely will never be good again.
Yeah, between Modern Horizons and just like the other stuff.
Yep.
Right. But like that led to bannings of Modern Horizons cards.
Yeah.
In Modern. I'm looking at you, Hogak.
Yeah, almost instantly.
Yeah, and Astrolabe?
And
Is
Astrolabe
banned?
It is.
And like it's just now like before Core 20. I don't know, like right around there. Modern Horizons is probably one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful set ever printed.
Yeah.
It's pretty, like, maybe one of
Yeah.
the, like, old Urza's block sets, like Urza Saga.
Well, I mean, it was certainly the most powerful set in Modern.
Yeah, it's the most powerful, like modern legal set.
Yeah.
Pretty clearly.
Yeah.
And it changed the face of Modern. Right. And then kind of the rest of the prints from 2019 and 2020 forward have just like changed Modern substantially.
Yeah, like almost unrecognizable.
Yeah. And then we have Modern Horizons 2 coming up this summer, which again, if past is prologue, there's going to be some ridiculous stuff in that set.
Yeah, I don't know that it's going to be exactly like Modern Horizons, though. I'm sure there's going to be ridiculous stuff in it. But they already said that they're putting the fetch lands in it. So it's already going to be different from Modern Horizons because there's going to be reprints of cards already legal and Modern in it.
Yeah. But I think there will be new cards. And the last, like, 2 to 3 years of design philosophy, like, if you think about, like, when the sets that came out in 2019, they were designed in, like, 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
Right, so let's say from, like, the people designing cards in 2017 to now have thought some wild cards were okay. Yeah. So I'm assuming there's going to be some, like, paragraphs O value on some cards.
Questing Beast, but it's 2 mana.
Yeah. But it's red-green. It's harder to cast.
Yeah, it's black-green.
It's black, and it's a 4/4 flyer.
That's a joke not everyone's going to get.
Yeah, that's a callback. I was going to say that, like, back in the day when a card had a paragraph of text, that was because they didn't know how to, like, adequately explain the rules, and you end up with, like, change of
Mephistopheles.
Exactly. Where, like, it's not that difficult, but they just didn't have, like, the vocabulary.
The way they worded it, you need a flowchart to understand it.
Yeah, same with, my gosh, there's a couple cards that are just, like, piles of cards, words that you're just like, well, that's not that bad now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But now when there's a paragraph, it's like, oh, this card has like 4 triggered abilities, 2 activated abilities, and a million other things. Yeah. So that's probably gonna like shake up the format. Like that's like the next big thing.
And that'll probably be summer of 21, right?
Yes.
I think they said.
Yeah. It's weird that of like these Modern Horizon sets, if every like 2 years there's a pseudo rotation in Modern.
Oh, the non-rotating format rotates due to power creep.
Yeah, where you're just like, hey, here are these new cards, and it's like, oh man, none of my other cards are good.
Right.
Or like, you know, let's say they print some ridiculous card that makes Jund playable, right?
I don't even know what you could print that would make Jund playable at this point.
1 black green, it enters play, it draws you a card, it gains you a life, gains you 3 life, and it bolts one of your opponent's things, and then you can
retrace it,
yeah, or something. It is a 6/6 body. Like, I don't know, we can come up with something. I mean, the template's there. Yeah. But or it's just Jund colors, and it doesn't go to the graveyard. It's just like Jund, and it like your opponent discards a thing, you draw a card, and you bolt something every time you attack.
Every turn, yeah.
every turn, and it's a 6/6.
Yeah.
But right, so let's say you got rid of your Jund cards, and they printed this mythical Jund thing. Now you've got to like go get your Jund cards again, right? Like it used to
Which
be
are way cheaper now.
they are, but like it used to be like you would play things, and they would like maybe you would like make a deck a little bit better or a little bit worse based on a print, and like it's just like nope, boom. Decks are
grenade.
unplayable. Decks now exist that didn't exist. It's a very different world where like Modern Horizons 1 kind of like rotated the format. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean we had bands that rotated entire decks out of the format on accident.
Yeah. What was that one?
Mox Opal.
Yeah, Mox Opal, because Urza from Modern Horizons was too good with Mox Opal.
Right. So you had to ban Affinity.
So then, yeah, like, no one's played an Arcbound Ravager in years.
Yeah, despite having, like, 3 new printings of it.
Yeah, like, I have my my PTQ promos, or my Arcbound Ravagers.
Yeah, and they were in a secret lair.
Yeah, and now that card's, like, is not played anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah, because the problem wasn't Mox Opal, the problem was Urza's busted.
Right.
But they couldn't ban another card out of... from Modern Horizons out of Modern.
Right.
So it's like, I guess Opal's the card we can get rid of. It's like, isn't Urza still really good? Shh. We can't talk about that.
Yeah.
So we went no more master sets at the end of 2018. And then at the end of this summer, we were like, woo! Master sets are back.
Double masters.
Double masters.
Including $200 booster packs.
Yeah. Yeah. Or a whole bunch of singles that I bought.
Yeah.
You
That's
want
what
some,
I did.
You want some foil full art Thoughtseizes? I know a guy.
Some.
I got some. Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Yes. Like that was a set that was, if nothing else, like the extended art things were good to pick up. I guess that is something that we don't have on here as what has changed. But
well, I mean, we kind of do. It's the next thing.
Yeah, like the Mythic editions turned into secret layers.
Yeah, and then like kind of ancillary to that, we got these the new like alternate art printings that are kind of going with every set.
Yeah, like just the fact that now seemingly every set there is like multiple printings of every card in foil and non-foil.
Yeah, there was. I meant to send it to you. I don't think I did.
It was a Goldfish video. How much would it cost to buy one of every card printed in 2020?
Yeah, I didn't know that it was a video. I read the article.
Oh, it was a video.
Okay.
It was $31,000.
Right.
If you bought one of every card, foil and non-foil, every version.
Right.
For the year on beginning of December TCG player prices. It was $31,000.
Insane.
Because there are 21 versions of Teferi Time. Master of Time. 21 versions.
Yeah.
There are 10 non-foil and 11 foil versions of that card.
Stupid.
Why?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think it's funny that we were doing the expeditions and the masterpieces, and it was like, oh man, we're running out of cards to print in this style.
Yeah.
We need to stop doing these. And the solution was, let's just print every card in this style. Every set. And it's like, why? The only upside of there's a million versions of stuff is there's always a more desirable version than the basic pack, non-foil. So that the cost of those rares is significantly less than it would be, because it's like, well, I can get a regular Skyclave apparition for $2 or $4, but I can get the full art one for $7, so I'll just get the full art one. So that makes the regular one less desirable. Which I guess is good if we could ever play Magic and Paper again.
Yeah, I mean, it gets more people playing Paper Magic.
Yeah.
That was actually a question that I was going to ask you here. when I had it written down, Mythic Editions turning into Secret Lairs, is now that we're like a year into Secret Lairs, how do you feel about Secret Lairs?
Yeah, I'm good. We don't need these.
You don't like them at all?
So the adage of not every product is for you, and people getting mad that Wizard says that, like, yeah. I am fine with I am fine with them existing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that got me is it came up in that video or article that you had read from Goldfish.
Yeah.
There have been 28 Secret Lairs this year.
Yeah.
That's more than one every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Right? Like, that's a ton of product.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I worry, and we've brought it up before, the idea of, like, there's only so much disposable income.
Right.
And especially now.
Yeah.
Right? How many people are going to be like, I just can't keep up with this stuff. I'm just not going to bother. Right? Apparently not enough, because they just keep grinding through these things.
Yeah, I mean, I saw, I think it was today, there was an article that said that 2020 is the best year that Magic's ever had.
Sales-wise?
Yeah, which is absolutely insane since nobody is allowed to play.
I mean, how much of that is like arena bucks though, or is that paper Magic?
It was just a comment on social media, but it was somebody from Wizards. I think it was something that Mark had said.
Okay, but like, yeah, if it's arena bucks, like, that makes sense. Like, you're trapped at home and there's nothing for you to do.
Yeah.
So I'll spend $20 on arena when you might not otherwise do that.
Right.
And,
right, but that also means that there's more people spending money on or people are spending more money on arena than they did on paper product.
Yeah, but
which is kind of insane.
But I guess how many people, like, there might just be more people playing arena, right? Like, I think we view arena as a way to transition into paper.
Yeah,
but there might be a lot of people that just see, like, arena is Magic.
Oh, that's true. I hadn't thought of that.
Right, like, what are the odds if we open a if we start having paper tournaments?
Yeah.
That Croakies will come down off of his throne and play with the plebes in paper.
I bet you he does.
Maybe, but how many people that watch Croakies, that's not even something they think about.
Right.
Playing in paper. Right, yeah. Like, this is just, like, we're in the, like, Hearthstone space of this game exists on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could also be that, like, there were enough people like you and I that weren't, like, financially adversely affected or mildly financially adversely affected by
more
COVID.
Inconvenienced.
Yeah. That still had money to spend on Magic, right? And we're like, okay, they're giving me a new premium product every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I guess I'll buy some of these.
Yeah.
Also, like, think about, like, on some level, right, your game store is a rake in that, right, when you spend $15 on a draft, let's say, right, $15 left to your pocket, and you bought somewhere in the neighborhood of $10 to $12 worth of, like, Wizard product.
Right.
That your game store paid, $7 for.
Yeah.
Right? So Wizards gets $7, let's say, no middleman, just they get $7 for that transaction.
Yeah.
Right? Now you buy a Secret Lair. You're buying straight from Wizards. There's no rake anymore. There's no one that's skimming. So when you give Wizards $15, they get $15 or $30, right? Right. If you gave your game store $30 for 2 drafts, Wizards saw 14 of it. Right, you give Wizards $30 for a Secret Lair, they see all $30.
Yeah, and like another thing on piggybacking on that is the Walking Dead Secret Lair. Did you hear about that? They said that is by far the most popular Secret Lair that they've done, despite all of the, social media press to the contrary. They sold more copies of Walking Dead Secret Lair than any other Secret Lair.
So, I hope, like, there are no good lessons for them to take from this, right? Yeah. The 2 lessons they can take are, oh, hey, let's do more crossover stuff with other IPs, right? As someone said, get ready for Minion Secret Layers. Or two, hey, let's print more exclusive cards
Right.
in Secret Layers because people like that.
Yeah.
And like I feel a lot of the sales are driven by FOMO anyway. Right? But then you also had the FOMO of, oh my god, what
These
if
cars don't exist anywhere else?
Yeah,
what if one's broken?
Yeah, what if one's broken? And then you like look at the last 2 years and you're like, okay, one's broken, and I've just got to figure out which one it is, and I have to have them. So like, you know, you don't have the Allosaurus Shepherd conundrum. Oh, this card's $80. Now it's $80, and we're not allowed to play paper Magic.
Right.
How much is that card when there's actually tournaments?
Yeah, and it's out of print.
Yeah, when there's like a legacy, when someone's going to a GP and there's a legacy side event, and they really want to play elves, and they need 2 Allosaurus Shepherds.
Yep. And it costs as much as a Gaia's Cradle.
Yeah, and it's like, this is absurd, right? And so, whatever his name is, the white one.
Emil?
No. Sorry, I was thinking...
in Walking Dead?
Walking Dead. Rick, right?
Yeah.
Like, if Rick is the Death and Taxes, like, card that you have to have.
Right.
Right, which he kind of is.
Kind of.
Right, so you need to have 2 Ricks. You know, you could get it for $35 in the secret layer, or they're going to be $80 a pop.
At least.
Right, so I don't know. Right,
I don't know either.
Like there's no good thing for Magic players that comes out of that being their most popular secret layer.
You know, I agree with you there. I think I'm higher on secret layers in general than you are, though. I dig them. I've ordered a bunch, and like I'm not shy about it. I have enjoyed ordering most of them. The only one I did feel bad about ordering was the Walking Dead one, but I ordered them anyway because I thought Lucille was a cool card.
Yeah, well, I think that them existing as a way for people to get fancy versions of the cards they want, that's fine. Like whatever, right? I just worry that, again, like you're separating like your customers from their money, and at some point they have to stop buying other products, right? Like how much of the secret layer purchasing was because you weren't having to buy cards for standard?
Probably a very large amount.
Yeah, like I don't have to keep up with standard because I just play that on Arena. Well,
you have to keep up with any format, really.
Yeah, so I'll just like play this on Arena.
Yeah.
I just worry that like between, you know, we used to say that like, well, I don't want to play Magic online because I got to keep a paper collection and a digital collection. In Arena, you're doing the exact same thing, but you just can't cash out of that collection.
That's true.
And so like you're like, have your paper collection, have your digital collection, and we need you to buy some fancy paper versions of cards. And hey, have you been to the store? It's 30% off of this fancy version of this digital card that you have.
Yeah.
So, like, there just comes a point where, like, your customer base is like, yeah, no mas. Yep. And it might be that we get to that point and then Wizards has to, like, scale it back. But for, like, 2 years, they're just, like, you know, Scrooge McDuckin' it. And then they have to pull it back.
We just had the super secret versary drop, whatever, right? There was like five different secret layers.
Yeah.
And then there's already 4 more announced for January.
Dear God.
So you've got like the first 4 weeks of January, there's a secret layer every week.
Yeah, like
right after Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like there's a tipping point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it just like forces people to pick and choose more than they have been, because like there's a lot of people that just been buying everyone, and I don't know that that's feasible anymore.
Yeah.
So either people are going to have to start picking and choosing, or it's just going to force people out of Magic. Like you just get overwhelmed and say this isn't worth the stress, and I'm done.
Yeah, like I said, we know that I've bought 2 Thalias, and that's all I've bought.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know, I'm of the mindset of, like, I'll just go by the singles.
Yeah.
If there's one I really want. But at the same time, though, you know, it's I don't know. The like you have 5 days to buy it or whatever. Like I'm like I don't know. Like the other day, I was supposed to go into work and sign like a retirement card for someone and chip in for a gift. And then on Friday, he sent an email thanking everyone for the card. And I was like, oh crap, it's Friday. Like I totally lost 2 days. I had no. I was like I gotta go in and do that. And then it's Friday.
Oops.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have time to like worry about missing stuff. Screw that.
Yeah.
So off of Brian's capitalism is bad stance, onto, as we talked about the snow globe of organized play, the Pro Tour and Pro Points are gone.
They are.
And the joy of the Pro Tour and the Pro Points where I could sit someone down and clearly articulate to them how playing at F&M could get them to the Pro Tour.
Correct.
Right? Like, okay, you play at F&Ms, you earn points. That makes your GPs a little bit easier. And you can, like, you know, you could do really well at a GP and qualify for the Pro Tour that way. Or you could do really well at, like, 4 or 5 or 6 GPs and get enough pro points to, like, get an invite to the... Like, you could explain to someone. Right? Now it's like MPL and Rivals where like I feel that a big part of getting into MPL and Rivals, at least what we've seen in the first 2 years, it's a derisive thing to say, but having Twitter followers.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was getting an invite to a Mythic Invitational or to an invite event, then doing well.
Right.
To then chain that into your next invite.
Yep.
And then, you know, like, Kenji's in Rivals. And Kenji's in Rivals because he, like, got invited to a thing, did well, then did well in the next one, and now he's in Rivals. And, like, not saying Kenji didn't deserve that invite, but, you know, there are players that, like, that kind of dream from, like, Game Store to Pro Tour is kind of broken. It's like, yo, okay, so you're at the Game Store, right? Yeah. What I need you to do is I need you to go to Best Buy. I need you to buy a computer and a webcam.
Right.
And then I need you to go start streaming. And then for some reason, I need people to find you and watch you.
Yeah, so get good at that.
Get good at that. And then this other thing. Right? I mean, and it happens, right? Like, you know, I don't know what Crokies was doing before he started streaming Arena.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Right, but he's like one of the top Magic streamers now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right, you know, and so he's actually turned down invites to things. But like he's gotten access that a player of equal caliber that didn't stream would not have.
Oh, absolutely. There are certainly better Magic players than Crokies.
Our Lord and Savior has no peer.
Sure.
But yeah, so like it's a much harder kind of thing to explain, and it's like, well, you have the MPL players, and then they like make slightly more money than the Rivals players, and they get invited to more things that don't happen anymore. And then like I could not explain to you if you put a gun to my head and be like, explain MPL, Rivals, and Challengers to me, I'd just be like, pull the trigger. Like I don't want to spend 5 minutes like fumbling through this and get shot at the end anyway.
Yeah, because you're going to be wrong.
Yeah, just end it 5 minutes early because we know what's going to happen. Right?
Yeah, it's so strange.
Right. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And
like it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't really give anybody anything to shoot for. Like that was one of my, like when I started getting competitive with Magic, that was one of the things that I enjoyed about the game was that I had something to work for. I could work towards getting on the Pro Tour. Even if it was just one Pro Tour and I scrubbed out, I made it to the Pro Tour. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now you can't get there. You can't get there. Like, you need to social media. You need to market yourself. You need to get followers. You need to stream. Like none of those things have anything to do with Magic. Right. Magic doesn't get you followers and Magic doesn't get you social media.
Yeah. So it's like if the pinnacle now is MPL and Rivals, right? Yeah. It's all those things. Like, we could still, like, do the Mythic qualifying weekend.
Right.
And, like, make the Pro Tour.
Right.
right? But like I don't know, but like that's kind of been replaced as like the upper echelon of Magic,
Yeah.
right? The
Yep.
upper echelon of Magic is MPL. It's like okay, now make the Pro Tour through whatever ways. Okay, now win the Pro Tour, win the players, the Pro Tour Championship or whatever the next thing is, or the Players Tour, then the Players Tour Championship, then that can get you in the MPL or Rivals, and it's like,
well, it can't get you directly into the MPL. You have to be in Rivals to get into the MPL.
Yeah, like I don't know, when the upper echelon was be a Platinum Pro in make the Pro Tour. That was something that you could easily articulate. If you want to be the best, you've got to, like, you know, not an easy thing, not a true thing. Like, you basically the only thing you do is you play Magic.
Mm-hmm.
You are, one, very good at it, and then it's all you really do.
Yep.
And then, if you're good enough, that will get you to the upper levels. And now that chain is broken.
Right.
Like, doing really, really well gets you only so far.
Mm-hmm.
And again, not saying that anyone that's at these upper levels doesn't deserve it.
Oh yeah, they're definitely a better Magic player than I am.
Yeah, it's just the way to get there. Like for years, it was, you know, there was a clear path, and it seems like now the path is clear to a point.
Yeah,
and then it kind of gets like weird.
Lost in the swamp.
Yeah, lost in the swamp. Snow globed.
That's right, snow globed.
All right. So, we've had 55 cards banned across all formats.
This year.
2020.
2020. The year that no paper Magic got played.
Yeah. The year we've ignored the existence of Modern and Pioneer.
Right.
And with 55 cards banned. And those are just the truly, truly, truly egregious cards.
Yeah.
And Uro's still illegal in Pioneer, Modern, and Legacy.
That's what I was just gonna say. Uro's still around.
Yeah. And then 7 cards have been erased from existence, but none of those cards again are named Uro or Veil of Summer. No, these were the cards that went on the scale from full on racist to are you sure it's racist? Like that was kind of the scale they were on. It was invoke prejudice. Is that a bunch of clans dudes on the art to like rock throwing devils?
Predish gypsies.
Yeah. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, Prodish is a bad word. It's like, yo, look. If I am going to, like, go to Google and look it up.
Prodish is a bad word?
I think it's Prodish. I don't think it's gypsy they got rid of. I think it's the Prodish part of it.
I was pretty sure it was because they were gypsies.
Maybe it's because they were gypsies.
Yeah, I think gypsies is insensitive.
Either way.
Yeah.
Right,
either way.
We were on this scale of cards that we've decided are bad that, like, are no longer even on Gatherer.
Yeah, like I don't know if they're still doing this, but at one point, you can't even sell your copies of this card on eBay.
Oh, really?
They will pull your listing.
Wow.
Cards do not exist.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, weird. What are we playing now?
Does it matter?
Not really.
Yeah, not really.
I mean, my engagement with Magic now is, and this comes up a little bit later, is I get the minimum 4 wins.
Yeah.
Typically maximum 10 wins. Because 10 wins after your 10th win, the payout is less good and there's no more gold.
Right.
And that's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I don't think there's any more experience after 10 wins either. Right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
But that's basically it. Like, what can I play to get me those wins in, like, the least time-consuming, rage-inducing way possible?
Yeah. Like, it doesn't really matter because you're not prepping for anything. Like, you're not practicing a deck to go play in a tournament with. You're not buying into a deck and paper and want to get good with it. On Arena, like, you have everything. You know what I mean?
If you've been
And
playing a lot, you have everything. Yeah.
yeah, and like even if you don't have everything, you probably have the better part of at least two decks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if one deck isn't performing, you switch, and you don't even think twice about it. Oh, I don't feel like playing Sultai anymore. Let's switch to Sculpted Steel. And you don't even think, you just click, and now you're playing artifacts.
Yeah. See, the problem is I'm so lazy, I don't even go to the point of, like, making the other deck. Like,
yeah.
I've been thinking about putting together the colorless ramp deck for, like, 2 weeks. Can't be bothered to go in there and build it.
You can't be bothered to hit import.
Can't be bothered to go find Kenji's list and hit import. No, too hard.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, there's a different version of that deck of the, like, they're talking about on the Arena deck list of the Sultai list. It's just blue-green.
Oh, yeah?
It plays, it's from Dominaria. It's like a 5-mana 4/4. And when it comes into play, you have to return, you can return a historic permanent. You can return itself.
Yeah.
So if you have enough mana rocks, you can just go like Paradox Engine, play that, bounce itself. Infinite. So just go infinite off of that.
Oh.
So like they were talking about how like if you have Karn in your deck, because like what's his name? Kai didn't have Karn in his deck. Like it's like you just play have Karn, you go get that, and you can just like go infinite from like a Karn on the battlefield, and that in a Paradox Engine you can go infinite.
Whew.
So
that's a lot of clicks though.
It is a lot of clicks. But like Nick Prince was streaming it if anyone's interested in looking it up. But yeah, like there's no stuff going on.
Yeah.
You're not trying to get good for anything. Like you're just basically trying to get your wins.
Yeah, just trying to keep up with the format, I guess. Not the format, but the program.
Yeah, is all. And like, you know, the occasional like event comes up. You know, we were talking in the pre-show. If you want to get some hot takes on Arena Cube, become a patron. But like the last 2 days, it's been Arena Cube. That's what I've got and played to get my wins. Hello?
Did I lose you?
Yes, for a second.
Sorry.
That's right. The last thing I heard was last 2 days was I played Arena Cube to get my wins.
Yeah. Yep. I tried Arena Cube. I didn't love it so much, but yeah, I mean that's basically all you're doing on Arena is, you know, grinding out your daily rewards to keep up with the program, and then occasionally jumping in something fun. Yeah, it's not like you're not like I said before, you're not prepping for any event. There's nothing really that matters.
Yeah, I if you were like into the like Mythic qualifier weekends or Arena Opens, I guess they're Arena Opens now, right? Yeah. If that's your thing, or I guess Arena Opens and Mythic qualifier weekends, then you're prepping for those. But like, I don't know, like part of me just doesn't want to spend whatever it is, $15 or whatever to like enter the arena tournament.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can do this for free.
Right.
And not have like the stress of like, oh man.
Yeah.
I'm spending $15 to do something I would normally do for free.
Right.
So. Okay.
Yeah.
The last thing, and this is kind of where this idea started, at least in my head.
So I wrote this whole article and it was different from what you envisioned.
But I liked it. So I just wrote it. I was thinking about like how cards had changed.
Okay.
Right? And the thing that struck me is we did our Challenger deck episode, like our first one. And there was like the blue-red, like, you know, knockoff Drake's version. Mm-hmm. And I remember saying like Niv Mizzet was like by far one of the best cards in this small standard, or this last small standard. I can't imagine him being bad going forward. Like, it seems like a card that will just be standard playable for its whole time in standard. So, like, buying this Challenger deck gives you this card that's going to be clearly in the top, I don't know, 20 cards in standard for its time in standard.
Right.
And that was wildly wrong. That card did not get resolved for like the last 18 months of Standard
Yeah.
that it was in, right? And that's just because from Niv Visit, right? Like, I think that Guilds of Ravnica could be like viewed as like the last set of the old times.
Yeah, because Allegiance, we got the
Allegiance,
start of the Great Simic Menace.
yeah, like that's Hydroid Crisis and Wilderness Wreck
Yeah.
were there, and that's like the big mana payoff in Hydroid Crisis,
Yep.
and like the mana doubler / like 0 mana engines
Right.
in Wilderness Wreck. And like that's where design seemed to like fly off the handle. So like
Yeah.
I have here like for the longest time Simic was one of the worst color combinations.
Laughably.
It just didn't do anything. Right?
Yeah.
Like the color combination, like they kind of drew cards. It kind of had like reasonably sized creatures. Like the green part should be big, but didn't always work out in the Simic colors. Like it had
prior to like 2019, what was the best Simic gold card that you can think of?
The best Simic gold card. I have no idea.
Like Coiling Oracle?
Coiling Oracle, Shardless Agent.
Oh yeah, Shardless Agent.
Shardless. There's there's the like cube card that like counters a spell or bounces a spell and you get 1/1s equal to its converted mana cost.
From Void Slime?
No, Void Slime's the counter. This is a bounce. It's like 4 blue green, bounce a thing, get 1/1s equal to the number of like to its converted mana cost.
Okay.
Like that was like a card that blew me out in cube on more than one occasion. But yeah, like nothing. Like Simic was not a like color combination that got played in like older formats. Like Temur Delver existed because you could like you wanted like Bolt, Tarmogoyf, and Stifle.
Right.
Right. It wasn't like you were like playing any specifically blue or green like card like Simic cards.
Yeah, no, you just wanted the green bodies.
Yeah, you wanted Goyf,
Yep.
and then you were playing blue red.
Right.
Right. Now since our podcast started, also I was wildly long on Hydroid Crisis. I was like, it's gonna be like a 6 mana 4/4 flyer that drew you 2 cards. Like that's fine. Like I didn't know that we were gonna have Nissa. It was just always gonna be like a, tap 7 lands, refill your hand, make like a 1-turn clock.
Yeah. Right before we started recording this show, I was playing a game on Arena with Simic, and I forget what deck my opponent was on, but we were, going back and forth just fine. We were both out of cards in hand. We both had, it was like parity on board, and I resolved a Hydroid Crisis for X equals 10, and my opponent roped me.
Just roped you out because you resolved a Crisis?
Crisis was still on the stack with the trigger. And he went from 3 timeouts to 0.
Wow.
Yep.
Like, I don't understand that, like, thought process, because, like, you're wasting your time, too. As the roper.
Right.
Right? Like, you're wasting the ropey time, but you're wasting yours. Like, you could be, like, 3 turns into your next match.
Yeah, man, my time's important. My time's more important than your time is. Well, not yours in particular, but whoever my opponent's.
Yeah. But you're still wasting your time.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. So, Crisis. Then, after Crisis, 9 months later...
Yeah.
Oko.
The Great Elkin Menace.
The Great Elkin Menace. To the point that at the last GP we ever went to, people were cosplaying elk. People were cosplaying elk in the Pro Tour.
There were vendors there that sold out of elk tokens.
Yes. It was just all elk all the time.
Yeah.
And then we hit him with the Uro.
Man, 3 mana green spells.
3 months after that. Yeah. Hit him with the Uro.
The Okie doke.
The Okie doke. We went Okie
Yeah.
doke into Urioke.
Well,
So like,
no, Oko, and then I guess Uro's the doke.
yeah, but
So
we just
Oko,
went like
Oko doke.
in the course of one calendar year, we
Yep.
took Simic from to the best thing to do in every format that Uro and Oko are legal. Well, that Uro's legal in,
Right.
and the only thing to do in Legacy.
Right.
It is literally the only thing to do in Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Right from we don't play these colors to you can only play these colors.
Yeah. And that doesn't even count like Growth Spiral.
Yeah, like Growth Spiral was there too.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have on here, but we have a whole episode on this, like the engines that require no card investment or no mana investment.
Well, yeah. I mean, you alluded to it
Yeah,
in Wilderness Wreck.
but Wilderness Wreck, Fires of Invention,
Yeah.
these cards that just like get going and immediately pay you off. Omnath before it got banned was the same way.
Field of the Dead.
Field of the Dead, like you get so much for so little, and that
Yep.
used to not be like if you had an engine, there was tension of I resolved my engine piece. Okay, I've got to untap with it.
Right.
And now like your engine resolves and you're already doing 50.
Right.
It's already going.
Yeah, you've
So
already
there's
been paid off. Doesn't
yeah.
matter if they take care of it or not.
Yeah. We have the static abilities on Planeswalkers. This was a whole new design thing. This happened right after we started, right? It was
Yep.
War was shortly after we started.
Yep.
And we described it a while back in the Planeswalker episode. As you can think of it as like you have a +1 or a 0 ability that is always gets activated on your Planeswalker.
Right.
Then you get to activate another one. So you're basically activating 2 Planeswalker loyalty abilities every turn.
Yep.
And the ones that are kind of most egregious are, well, the 2 that are most egregious are Teferi Time Raveler and Narset.
Yeah.
Right? If we've learned nothing over these last 2 years, is it's putting you can't or your opponent can't on a card makes Magic less fun.
Way less fun.
Right? Teferi, you can't cast your spells.
Yep. Narset, you can't draw cards.
Right? Like, just makes the game less fun. Like, I understand, like, Big Chandra being like, you can't counter me. Okay. Like,
Oh, that's fine because it only happens once. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen every turn until you answer the card.
yeah, it's not like it says, this and other red spells you control can't be countered. I'm looking at you, Allosaurus Shepherd. Right? Like, so you have those as, like, the you can't things are less fun. And then,
Yeah.
like, 5-mana Nissa, who shakes the world, right? That card somehow was only maxed out at, like, $4 when that was, like, the best card in the best standard deck
Yeah, kind of crazy.
for, like, 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, games just were like, oh man, if my opponent on Nissa was the closest to like an engine that you had to untap with, but she also just gave you a 3/3 and 2 mana
Right.
when you
Yeah,
played
she
her.
only costs 3 mana.
She was only 3 mana, and if you untapped with her, the game ended because you just cast a Krasis for 10.
Right.
And then it was just like, oh, okay. They have this giant creature that I have to deal with. They have this planeswalker I have to deal with, and they have 6 new cards or 5 new
Yeah.
cards. Yikes!
And another 3/3 every turn.
And a 3/3, yeah. So like just the static ability on planeswalkers like has changed how planeswalkers play,
Yeah.
and kind of like vehicles with Smuggler's Copter or equipment with GT, right?
Yeah.
Planeswalkers weren't a new card type,
Right.
but giving them the static ability, they didn't know how to balance it.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't know, and there were a lot of very high profile misses.
Have they done a static ability every set since then?
Let me think here. So Big Chandra can't be countered.
We got Nissa and Zen Rising.
Nissa and Zendikar Rising. Was there? I'm like trying to go through. So what was last fall set was they didn't do one in Throne. Right? There wasn't one in Throne?
We had Royal Scions,
Uh
Garruk.
Garrick doesn't have one, right? The
Eric doesn't have one.
the loyalty ability is on the tokens.
Yeah.
So there wasn't one in Throne.
Yeah.
There isn't one in Theros either.
Elspeth has escape.
Elspeth has escape, yeah, but the other ones don't have anything.
Right.
I mean, Elspeth having escape does not override the fact that you have to play planes in your deck, so she's been unplayable.
True, but I mean, she does technically have a static ability.
Yeah, you could treat like escape as a static ability.
Yeah.
And then is there a static ability in Ikoria?
Yeah, don't you get to look at the top card of your library for Viv?
Oh, yeah, Vivian. Yeah, Vivian has one.
Yeah.
And then Core
21 had Teferi.
Oh, yeah. You can activate him twice.
Yep. At instant speed.
And then, you can activate him at instant speed. And then Zendikar, yeah, so I guess they missed Throne?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Throne's the only one. Could you imagine if they, slapped some, ridiculous, static on Oko?
Oh, man.
Your
Your opponent can only spend black mana.
Yeah, just something absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It just seems like they missed on that.
Yeah.
And cards now are just way more value than we have ever seen before.
Yeah, very much so.
Like Field of the Dead, Uro, and Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Rewards you for playing your game.
Yeah. Dreadhorde Arcanist, you looked at it and you weren't like, oh, this card is great. The card is, a must-kill in Legacy.
Right.
And
yeah, I don't think anybody looked at that card and said, oh, this is going to be, the new Delver.
Yeah, it's no, it is the new Delver. It's I get to cast Ponder every turn for free. Oh.
Yeah.
Right. And then, just to illustrate power creep, is I think that we now get a legacy card, 1 to 3 legacy cards in every set. Where
Probably.
we used to get 1 legacy card every 2 to 3 sets.
Once a year, maybe?
Once a year. And now these cards are creating whole archetypes.
Right.
And Field of the Dead found its way into Legacy for a while. Yeah. Dreadhorde Arcanist, Teferi, Narset. Narset is a deck.
Oko, Renin 6.
Uro. Right. I mean, I was thinking about cons. Cons block.
Yeah.
Monastery Mentor. For the block.
And Swift Spear.
If,
I guess
if you want to call Burn a legacy deck.
Well, yeah.
Ooh, shots
Didn't
I was gonna say Burn.
12 Post play doesn't 12 Post play Ugin?
Again, as someone who has most of 12 posts in a stack, ready to be sleeved. Not a real deck. But
yeah.
We name some cards for some fringe decks. Mentor was but Mentor was a win con for miracles and weird Tin Fins builds.
Yep.
But it was you replaced one win con with another win con.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole new archetype for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't the linchpin. It was I'm going to play 2 of these. Or 12 Post was well, Ugin's a way better finisher than Karn. So I'm going to play Ugin. Right? It wasn't 12 Post didn't exist as a deck and then this card was printed and it was this is a deck now. The only other set that came close to kind of what we've seen or block is the Battle for Zendikar.
With
Eldrazi. But that was something that was there's all this fast mana and nothing to do with it.
Right. It already existed.
These are giving me things to do with it.
Yeah.
Right. But it just seems every set it's oh, hey, here's Veil of Summer, Aether Gust, and Field of the Dead from a freaking core set that are now just in every deck.
Right. 2 of which are uncommons.
two like uncommons. Like, oh,
Yeah.
like you're watching legacy content and someone's like, if I just draw a Veil of Summer here, I just win the game.
Yeah.
If I have a Veil right now, I just win. And it's like, oh my God. Right? And so you, like, there's I said in the pre-show, right? Like, our sets now, there's a lot of 10s.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that we get 2 or 3 12s.
Right.
Seemingly in every set. And then every format is about playing those 12s.
Yeah, how many 12s can you fit in your deck?
How many 12s can you put in your deck? And, like, since there are so many 12s from, like, there are more 12s from 2019 and 2020.
Yeah.
Than there are 12s from 2018 to, like, 1993 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or 94. Right? So, there are more 12s in the last 2 years than there were in the previous 25 years.
Yeah.
And so, right, all the older formats are just like, play all these 12s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, look at look at Zendikar Rising. Like, Skyclave Apparition is the most played creature in Modern.
Yeah.
And I don't think that card's egregious. Like, I think it just does a thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's fine. Right? But, like, Omnath is a 12.
Yes.
And it just is getting played in Modern now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And, like, the barrier to get into Legacy in Modern used to be super high. And now it's like every set you're like, okay, what are the Modern cards I need to get?
Yeah.
And that's just a different feel than we've had in, like, my 5 or 6 years before this to now. Like, it's just been like, oh, every set there's a card that goes into or makes a new archetype in Modern or Legacy.
Yeah.
So, we've gone long, which is, could be just like the tagline for our podcast. Casual, try hard. We've gone long. But I think we're going to call it here. We had a bunch of questions from the Discord.
Well, it was actually just one question. It kind of fit with the theme, so I expanded on it some. But I think we're going to save that for next week.
We'll do that.
Squirp, we're coming for you next week.
We will get to you. But so with all that, I think we have 100th episode.
We have 100th episode. It's in the books. It's official.
It's official.
Yep.
So if you would like to get us, and again, let us know how we've made your life a little bit better in our 100 episodes. You can get us on Twitter at CasualTryPod.
Yeah, hit us up and let us know pros and cons, how we used to be, how we are now, especially you longtime listeners. You can find us on Facebook, CasualTryHardMTG. You can also drop us an email, show@CasualTryHardMTG.com. If you're looking to pick up singles around the holidays, when prices are cheap, we're going to talk about that next week a little bit. Please use our TCG Player affiliate link, tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com. Anything you purchase after following that link won't cost you a penny. It does help the show out. We get a small sliver to help keep the show rolling. If you want to support us a little bit more directly, you can do so at patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg. We got something special in the books for our patrons, so stay tuned for that. We also have a Discord server, links in the description, links on Twitter, links on Facebook. Get in there, start talking, give us some more show ideas. I think we got next week's episode covered, but maybe we don't have anything for between Christmas and New Year's. So if there's anything you guys want to hear about, let us know.
So, with that, we'll catch you on the internet.
We will catch you guys on the internet for episode 101.
Yeah. Also, just, thinking of long-term listeners, Chuckles, we haven't forgot about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chuckles.
What's going on with Chuckles?
I have no idea. I haven't heard of Chuckles in a long time. We used to shout out Chuckles all the time.
Oh, that's true. We did.
And now there's been no Chuckles in a while. So Chuckles, we haven't forgot.
Yeah. I actually don't know how much Chuckles is coming around the store anymore. I think he started playing out in Conway. So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Chuckles, we haven't forgot.
What have you done, Chuckles?
Yeah. Also, this is Anthony. Thank you for listening to last week's show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony listened to last week's show?
Yeah, he was like, oh, Christos? He was in for Christos.
Oh.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.